Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ Envy.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday.
What's happening?
Let me ask you guys a question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the first
No.
time this happened to me. Y'all ever got I guess it's a stress pain in your back, like something that just
You getting
stresses
old.
you out?
You know.
That never had
Yeah,
that?
like a spasm?
No, not a spasm, but like something that I don't want to say scares you, but scares you so much that you get a pain in your back.
Ooh, what's his name?
Shut up. So last night, if you know, I have a couple of dogs. I have a dog. One's name is Lola. One's name is Chuck Norris. One stays inside the house. One stays outside the house. They're guard dogs. They're fully trained. They can attack on calls. They're whatever.
That punk ass dog.
That punk ass dog, as Gucci Mane said. Right. So when I got to the crib last night, the dogs were outside and I heard them, barking. But usually they could bark for animals. It's bear season, so it could be a bear outside or it could be a person. We never know. So yesterday I go outside I hear the dogs barking. I go outside about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at midnight.
Why do you go outside though? Why you just didn't wait to let the dogs tell you who out there?
Because I want to know what's going on. If the dogs are going a little crazy, I want to know. So I grab, I grab my gun. I go outside and I only see one dog. So I'm like, this is weird. So, now I'm like, I can't find the dog. Now, mind you, I have electric fence on my house, so the dogs can't leave the perimeter of my house, of my property. They can't leave the perimeter. So I'm like, this is weird. And they know.
The way my anxiety set up, I'd have been like, okay, something just ate the dog. Let me take my ass back in.
But that's what I'm thinking. So now my back starts hurting, right? So I got this, and now I'm thinking it's a bear. So I got the big 8 shotgun like crazy. So I'm looking. And I can't find the dog. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is something that got my dog. So now I'm thinking maybe it's bigger than the bear because I'm like, my dog's scared of bears. So I'm like, now I'm thinking some Charlamagne. I'm like, is Sasquatch out there? Something is Bigfoot out
Why
there?
you ain't call 911?
911, hey, what's the problem? I can't find my dog. Like, come on,
scared.
now. I'm scared.
In the neighborhood that you live in, that's a common problem. That nice white neighborhood. Right? I can't find my dog. There's a cat in my tree. A cat's in my tree.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the woods. So I put this little flashlight on my forehead.
You went into the woods?
You went into
really
the
white, bro.
woods?
So I start walking. I'm looking for my dog.
Do you
now.
not watch horror movies?
Exactly.
So listen. So I start walking
Oh
in the
my
woods.
gosh. And you know how when you watch a horror movie, you're like, they are so stupid. Oh my God, why would they do that? And here's Envy.
Yep. So but I got my gun. So I'm like, I got my shotgun. I'm like, if it's a bear or something, I can shoot
They
it.
be having them in the movies
Get
too.
to the point where Sasquatch gave you a colonic.
Why is it only about butts with you? So I look around the woods for a little bit. I don't see nothing. So now I can't sleep because I'm like, is it a bear? Is it a person? Did something shoot my dog? So I'm sick. So now when I gotta leave in the morning, my back hurts. I open the garage and the dog's sitting there looking at me like, hey, what's up? So I don't know where the dog went. I can't figure it out. I looked on the cameras. I don't know where the dog went. But all I know is I was scared all night and I got a pain in my back. Do you want to rub it out?
So you still haven't found your dog?
Did you hear the story? The dog was sitting there waiting on me.
I was waiting for
Oh,
a way
so then why
better
did you
ending to the
say,
story, bro.
you said that you went there and the dog was in the garage and you were like, I don't know where the dog went.
No, I said when I opened up the garage door to leave to go to work this morning, the dog was sitting there chilling.
You
Like,
can't start with lower butt pain.
I'm not
and-
gonna lie,
and
I zoned out
my
because
dog
that
was in the
story was too
garage.
long.
It was too long, and this wasn't a good ending.
I have a stress pain in my back, and I was just curious. It just scared the hell out of me. I never got this pain before. Now my back hurts.
There's no
What part of your back?
It's like right under the shoulder.
drum. Give him a rub. All I know is it's 11 o'clock at night, and your dumb ass is in the woods looking for a dog. That's very white of you.
Hey,
You know, I eat something with pumpkin spice in it this morning.
That was a long story.
it's the
Jesus
truth. I'm
Christ.
just telling you my day. All right. Well,
That's a long story to say your back hurts.
All that just to say his back hurts. Woo! That's how you know you're getting old.
oh my goodness. Well, Dr. Claude Anderson will be
Dr.
joining us
Claude
for-
Anderson, one of my elders, one of my favorite people to sit down and have conversations with. He's got great books out like Powernomics and Black Label, White Wealth, Dirty Little Secrets. And he's been here before.
Yes.
But he's joining us again this morning.
All right. Well, let's get the show cracking. Front page news. What we talking about?
Yes, tonight there are going to be 2 different town halls on at the same time. And we'll talk about why that's a little bit weird and different. And also, Joe Biden has announced a record fundraising haul for September. We'll tell you what that is.
All right. Who wants to rub my back up here right fast?
Drum, give him that nice little Puerto Rican rub down.
Hell no.
All right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting, Yee?
Well, let's start with tonight. Tonight, Biden will be on ABC, and it's the date of the second presidential debate, but Donald Trump said that he would not participate in a virtual format. So we didn't know what he was going to do. Now he's confirmed that he's going to be on NBC tonight. So they're going to be going head to head on air at the same time on rival networks. So that's going to be at 8 p.m.
And this is going to really show, what America is about, because we will draw towards the negative.
The disaster, the reality show.
We will be watching the reality show. That's just it's just sad that that's the type of country we are, but it's the truth.
You're right.
You're not going to want to hear the substance. You're not going to want to hear what somebody's stable. We're watching Trump.
Yeah, absolutely right.
All right, now Melania Trump has also detailed that she had coronavirus and that their son, Barron, contracted it as well. She posted a personal essay on the White House website. She has now tested negative for the virus, but she did say at the time, she hadn't shared. She said, naturally, my mind went immediately to our son, Barron. Trump initially tested negative after they contracted COVID, but then he was tested again and turned up positive. Donald Trump said that Melania Trump says her son had no symptoms and has now tested negative again. Here is Donald Trump talking about Barron.
Barron Trump, he had the Corona-19, the China virus, and he had it for such a short period of time. I don't even think he knew he had it, because they're young and their immune systems are strong and they fight it off 99.9%. And Barron is beautiful and he's free.
See, I can't miss that tonight. You know what I'm saying? Trump line.
Corona-19.
I can't miss that. I can't miss that stand-up special tonight.
Free.
A live stand-up special from Trump tonight. I can't miss that. I'm sorry.
How tall is his son?
6'9", at least.
Gee, she should be playing basketball.
I also told y'all the Trump that survives coronavirus is going to be an unbearable Donald Trump. If Trump really had it, right now, his mindset is open the country because you can live through anything if Chris Christie made.
All right. Well, that is your front page news.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you're upset, you need to vent, hit us up right now. Maybe you had a bad night or a horrible night, or maybe you were walking through the woods looking for your dog.
Lord have mercy.
Your dog just popped up at 6 o'clock in the morning like, what's up? But anyway, get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, get it off your chest.
Cheers, Jessica.
Well, what's up? Good morning, guys. So I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
843.
Yeah, all day, but I still got my 917 number, you heard? So I'm an Uber driver. So I was on Folly Beach, and my phone plays music automatically. Like, I play a playlist, so there's no commercials. I like to make them feel comfortable. No offense, but 4 Caucasian people got into my car, and I had to take them 28 minutes away. It was cool. We were driving. WAP them played. Trap music them played. Fall Out Boy done played. I had a range of music, Lady Gaga. And as soon as Beyonce Brown Skin Girl came on, the lady in the back, I heard them whispering amongst themselves, like, who gonna say it? Finally, somebody was brave enough to come up and say it. They was like, excuse me, could you turn that song off? It's offending me. And I was like, what? That song offending you? And she said, well, it's all about, like, black girls. I'm not black. I don't relate to that. I was like, so something that's celebrating my skin is offending you? So what did I do? I started a whole playlist off that doggone song.
There you go.
And she got all the Black Power music for all 28 music.
Now, wait a minute.
All the way to her destination.
Everybody step back from this situation
Wow.
and look at it objectively.
Oh, boy.
You're an Uber driver.
Correct.
And when you're an Uber driver, you're playing music because you want people to feel comfortable.
Correct.
They don't feel comfortable
Right.
about the song. You don't got to get offended by it. She can't relate. She's a pale-ass mayonnaise-flavored mammal.
Yeah, but it's not that type of song. It's not like saying, F white people. That's not that
She's
type
just
of
upset
song.
that she don't have that tan. That's all.
Well, she goes.
But I'm just mad that all this trap music played. We done heard drug dealer music. We done heard WAP. We done heard everything. You didn't get offended about nothing.
Because she knows drug dealers. Because she knows drug dealers and she uses drugs. She might WAP might mean white ass to her. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
She just can't relate to
What
being a
kind
brown
of-
skin girl. She's
what kind
offended
of
she can't
rating
get no
did you give
tan.
her? What kind of rating did you give her?
Oh, no. Listen, I gave her the same rating I usually give everybody else because she didn't rate me no less because she knew she felt stupid after she said it.
All right. Well, thank
Because
you.
mind you, if you heard the music that I was playing around, I was playing Korn, Fall Out Boy. I was playing all this other stuff in rotation. If anybody know what that music is, you would know that it was diverse. So get off yourself.
And I think you missed a good opportunity to teach too, though, because you could have just told her like, look, this is an ode to melanin.
All right.
That's
Well,
all.
get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hello, who's this?
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. Get it off your chest.
Positive spread this morning, in a good mood. It's Thursday. The Lord woke me and mine up this morning.
I can't hear what you say with that phone, Mama.
Yeah, you got me squinting. I'm squinting to hear you.
She said it's Thursday. The Lord woke her up this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, and like anybody that's going through something, like, just let it go. You know, it hurts you more to hold on to certain things and just let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just, you know, always be in that positive mood. Because your energy spreads, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, you know, you have certain people that will catch on to that. So just let a lot of things come. Don't let nothing bother you. Like I said, it's Thursday. Some people got paid today. If not, it's almost the weekend.
Yes, today is the 15th. People did get paid. Let me ask you something, Queen. Who are you trying to convince?
Oh, she's
God damn it, Drum.
You said
Dramos handles that. Let's go line one.
Drum love hanging up on people. She clearly was trying to convince herself not to be mad at somebody this morning. I wanted to know who it was.
Hello, who's this?
Alexander.
Hey.
Peace, Alexander.
Get it off your chest.
What's going on? All right, well, I'll try to make this quick, man. For several years now, I've experienced being attacked with something called directed energy weapons, same technology that was used against U.S. Embassy employees. I don't just say I'm a victim. I've interviewed a former CIA engineer who's helped develop the technology. He acknowledges me as a victim and actually one of the oldest victims. I've ran billboards throughout the entire United States. I had a few in Cody, Wyoming, kind of trying to get a hold of Kanye. His attorney contacted me and told me, hey, can you remove his name off the billboards? I said, fine. Posted up some more billboards. The film that I have compiles all the news stories and kind of shows the similarities between with the Navy York shooter, the guy down in Florida, Myron May, who was a successful black trial attorney, and what we're all been trying to explain that's happening to us. Nobody wants to listen, man. They want to sit up there and think that we're all mentally ill, and that's just not the case. So I'm just trying to, take time today to see if there's any way anybody can listen. Go to Isaiah5417.net, check out the film, and judge for yourself,
You said you've been getting attacked by direct energy what?
Directed energy weapons, man. It's microwave frequencies. I'm not talking about the microwave oven in your house. It's actually the linear wave of frequencies where they can actually penetrate the human anatomy, change your emotions with 10.8 hertz and cause you to feel riotous behavior. They can also have someone speaking to you within your brain with the transmission of this without any microchip implants. This is all factual information.
Yeah.
There are thousands of people throughout the United States being attacked with this. We've been trying to get help for years. Nobody wants to listen. If I wasn't attacked with this, man, I wouldn't listen to it either. But, this is factual information. Today, the United Nations has something going on where they're actually going to try to, bring this out into the public. So, I just don't know where to go with this.
I'm gonna drop one of Clue's bombs for you, King, because you just wiped out all the 5G conspiracy theories. Like whatever 5G conspiracy theorists were talking about this year, you just took it to a whole nother level because you actually sound like you know what you're talking about.
Well, have a good one, bro. You be safe out there.
What you mean, man? You're not gonna provide no help for the guy? Jesus Christ!
Well,
You don't want to know more?
do I want to know more?
Yes, that man might. That sound like one of them calls where he wasn't supposed to be saying that type of stuff, but he said it anyway. Top secret information.
Well, he's still there. Why don't you take his number?
Nah, I'm cool with all that.
You want to give me your number?
No.
Well, you have a good day, bro.
How can we
check on Twitter?
What should we be looking for, sir?
So I'll tell you what, if you go to you guys' page, you look at Isaiah 54:17 MSGR. The reason I use it is because there's no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's right.
And they're calling this technology voice of God weapons. That's what the military has dubbed the name of it. And I know people don't want to get involved because they're scared it happen to them. But if you're not the help today to try to bring awareness to this, there will not be any help tomorrow for you or a loved one if you guys end up being attacked with this. No one is exempt from this, brother. No one.
Word. Can we pray for you? Does prayer work?
Man, prayer don't work for me, man. The only thing that works is if I'm not being attacked and the fact that I was born in the hood and actually have a way to, my mentality is that.
How y'all gonna use a Bible scripture and then tell me prayer don't work?
Because it doesn't, bro. I mean, if it actually, listen, man, these people will attack you while you're trying to pray and say God doesn't help anybody. I've been waiting on you to try this.
Wow.
Like, come on, man. I mean, I'm serious, man. I'm just sitting there trying to get help, man. I wish people would look into this because I used to be a millionaire. You ain't got to believe me. I'm not sitting there lying to you. I used to be worth over $3 million before I was 30, man. And what happened to me, I ended up broke, destitute, and homeless. I would have never experienced any of that in my life.
Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me give you Charlamagne's number. You hold on.
Shut up. Don't give me my number. Have a blessed day. Unplug your microwave, King.
No. Hold on, all right, brother?
Have a good day, okay?
I got to give Charlamagne number. I'm going to give you a number, Charlamagne, because I think y'all have a great conversation.
No, I think you should listen. And I mean, we hung up on him,
No,
but I
we
think
didn't.
you should listen because you just never know. And man might be telling us something that a couple months from now he'd be like, "Yo, remember when that dude called the radio station and was telling us about direct energy, such and such?" You never know.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm gonna give you a number just so y'all can stay up with each other.
You never know.
Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, you can hit us up. Naive, we got rumors on the way?
Yes, let's talk about Ludacris and his Netflix deal. We'll tell you what he's bringing to that streaming service.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk the Billboard Awards.
Listen up. This just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, did you guys have a chance to watch the Billboard Music Awards?
I did. I watched it just because Killer Mike was receiving the Changemaker Award, so I had it on mute up until that portion of the show.
No, I didn't see. I tried to tune in for a little bit. I seen Khalid pick up his award, and then I seen St. John start to perform, but I didn't see past that.
Well, Post Malone was the biggest nominee, and he actually was the biggest winner. He got 9 awards overall. He got Top Artist, Top Male Artist, Top Hot 100 Artist, Top Billboard 200 Artist, Top Streaming Songs Artist, Top Rap Male Artist, Top Rap Tour, Top Rap Album, and all of that. Khalid won a lot of awards, too. He got a Top R&B Album and Top R&B Artist and Top R&B Male Artist. Summer Walker got Top R&B Female Artist. Khalid got Top R&B Tour. But yeah, so that was on last night. Cardi B won for Top Rap Female Artist, and I saw Lil Nas X got Top Hot 100 Song, Top Streaming Song, and Top Selling Song.
Okay.
So a lot going on now. John Legend performed, and he actually dedicated the song to Chrissy, Never Break.
This is for Chrissy. We got a good thing, babe. Whenever life is hard, we'll never lose our ways. We both know who we are. Who knows about tomorrow? We don't know what's in the stars. I just know I'll always follow the light in your heart.
Goodness gracious. Sean, I this morning, man.
Well, I was watching that on...
So sweet.
Yeah, I was watching that on mute. I didn't hear what he was saying, but I could tell he was going in when I was watching it.
Goodness gracious.
I just assumed he was singing about Black Lives Matter because he was going in. He had on like a white suit playing the piano.
That's from his Bigger Love album, and he wrote that about the strength of his love and Chrissy. And, you know, they did just have complications and had
trying to make me tear this morning. Goodness gracious.
With the pregnancy, so I know they've been going through it, but that was beautiful. All right, now Lizzo also was on stage, and she was reminding her fans to refuse to be suppressed. She was getting the award for Top Song Sales Artist.
I've been thinking a lot about suppression and the voices that refused to be suppressed. And I wonder, would I be standing here right now if it weren't for the big black women who refused to have their voices be suppressed? And I just want to say right now, if you're at home watching this and you are thinking about changing yourself to feel worthy, this is your sign to remain true to who you are. Let me tell y'all something. When people try to suppress something, it's normally because that thing holds power.
Okay, dropping the clue bombs for Lizzo. I watched that on mute too. She had a dress on that said vote, 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 vote. And I like the dress, but I often wonder if just saying vote is enough. Like, do you have to give people more of a call to action? Like, Keisha Lance Bottoms had a shirt on that said vote Biden-Harris. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think they would just want people to go out there and vote. They're just saying, you know, our ancestors fought for it, so you should vote.
That's not what people want.
But that's what they're saying.
You
that's
don't
what
want people to
saying.
just vote.
They're telling people to just vote. They're not saying, they don't want to say, well, vote for this person.
But you should, right?
I think so. I mean, I think so. But you got to tell people why.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, now Killer Mike got the first ever Changemaker Award.
Kids out there that sing and dance, what you do is worthy. You are an artist, and your goal should be to express the very reality around you in the very most beautiful or ugliest of ways that you see fit. Kids who run and dance and sing and jump and all the things they tell you don't matter. You matter more than you know. The kids that are organizing, plotting, planning, and strategizing right there on the ground and mobilizing, you are needed more than ever. I'm a culmination of all these things. I appreciate all the people that encouraged me and pushed me to be who I am today.
Why y'all ain't played a part when he gave all glory to Shay? Drop one of Clues bombs for Killer Mike.
Well, I was about to say that too, because his wife, he said she always was standing by his side, and he promised not to be a martyr for his causes, and he told his wife, Shay, this is our award. All right, that award was presented to him by Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Salute to Killer Mike and Shay. I love the Renders because Michael Render is simply a doer. And those who can do and those who can't criticize. Meanwhile, all Michael does is mind his black-owned business with his black-ass wife, Shay, and I love him for that. Drop one of Clues bombs for Killer Mike. Congratulations to him on his Changemaker Award. First ever, by the way.
Absolutely.
Kanye West won 4 awards, by the way, just so you know, in the gospel category.
Wow. Really?
Who was he against?
Just the FYI.
Exactly. Who was he against? Whoever he was against ain't even praying hard enough. They didn't pray.
Shut up, man.
Imagine you in the gospel category with Kanye West and you praying to win this award and Kanye wins. Boy, that'll test your faith, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the way that the Billboard Awards is very different from other award shows. It's really just based on digital song sales, album sales, streaming, radio airplay, touring, and social engagement. So it's strictly numbers. It's not like you can nominate somebody.
They got to change that because people have been messing with those numbers. I mean, they have all types of different, they call them cell phone camps where people just have a zillion cell phones lined up, just streaming songs all day long. I mean, so they got to figure out a way to change that.
Did Kanye's album ever come out? The Jesus King album? It did, right? I don't freaking remember.
You're the Secretary of Defense. You tell us.
I'm not the Secretary of Defense. I don't remember.
I think it did come out.
Yes,
and
it did come out.
It was a gospel album?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So all his awards were in the gospel category.
I need to know who he was up against. Because whoever he was up against really needs to question God this morning and ask our creator why. Okay? Who was he nominated against? Do we know?
Kirk Franklin.
Wow.
I don't know.
Stop making stuff up. That's not true.
That's my go-to when it comes to gospel. Kirk Franklin.
Okay.
No, but all right. And let's congratulate Ludacris also. He is doing a show on Netflix. He's doing an animated series. It's called Karma's World. It's about a 10-year-old girl who wants to be a rapper. Obviously, that's his daughter. The episodes are short. They're about 10 minutes each, and they each focus on themes like self-esteem, diversity, body positivity, family, and leadership. So it's an interactive education website that has that same name also. That's going to be coming soon as well. He posted 10 years in the making. This is how legacies are built. I'm pleased to announce I'll be joining the Netflix family and bringing my new animated series, Karma's World, inspired by my oldest daughter in partnership with 9 Story MG and Brown Bag Films to Netflix.
Luda! Dropping the Clues bombs for Ludacris.
Good brother right there.
Luda been getting money for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right, we got front page news. What we talking about?
Breonna Taylor. We'll talk about the interview that her boyfriend, Kenneth, did. We'll tell you what he had to say.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Where we starting?
Well, let's start with this interview. And this was really hard for me to watch. I'm not going to lie. This is Kenneth Walker, and he is detailing the night that Breonna Taylor was shot and killed. This was on CBS this morning, and I actually was crying listening to this. So all right, so here he is talking about holding Breonna while she was shot.
When did you realize that Breonna had been shot?
I guess in the middle of all the gunfire, like she screamed, but like I was holding her hand, I pulled her down to the ground. But you know, she was just scared, so she just didn't get down.
Was she alive at the time?
She was still, and when all the gunfire stopped, she was like bleeding and stuff, and I was holding her. No, then that's when I called my mom.
You called your mom first?
Yeah, I told her that somebody just kicked in the door and shot Breonna, and she told me to call 911, so I did.
Now, they have the 911 call.
911, operator Harris, where's your emergency?
I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend.
Where was she shot at?
I don't know. She's on the grill right now. I don't know.
Is she alert and able to talk to you?
No, she's not. Breathe.
All right, and then Kenneth Walker said a cop told him that it was unfortunate that he wasn't shot. Listen to this.
The police didn't come rushing in?
Not at all. I don't think I realized that it was the police until I was on the phone with Breonna's mom. I hear like people outside talking. I thought they was, coming for help because I called 911.
So you think they're coming to help you?
Yes. So when I come outside, there's guns pointed at me. I'm being threatened with dogs, and the officer asked me, was I hit by any bullets? I said no. He said, that's unfortunate.
I would have been like that.
So think about that.
I'd have said
He
that's-
thinks the police are there because he called 911. He's not realizing that they were the ones that broke because they never identified themselves and said that they were police officers.
That's crazy.
Are you shot? No, that's unfortunate. I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel as well. You know what I mean? Especially after hearing that footage. F people, man. F humans. Humans.
All right, Kenneth Walker also talks on going to the station and meeting up with another cop.
When we finally left the scene, we pulled over in like a random parking lot on Manslick, which is the street like at the bottom of the hill down the street from Brianna's apartment. And another officer in an unmarked car, and he wasn't in uniform and stuff, and he came to my window, but his tone was way different than everybody else's who was just on the scene. He told me that this was a misunderstanding and we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and asking me did I need anything.
Wow. I would never understand how nobody is held responsible for that type of malpractice. Like, you cannot make a mistake like that.
Absolutely right.
Because they're lying and saying that they identified themselves. They're lying.
But somebody died.
Everybody else.
You can't make
Somebody died.
Yeah, you can't make a mistake like that on any other job in America.
If a doctor makes some mistakes and kills somebody,
keep your
he's
job.
liable. If anybody else in any other position of job kills somebody on the job by quote unquote mistake, they're
And,
liable.
and they showed they're liable by paying the $12 million in the civil suit. But even still, like, you can't keep your job after something like that. Like,
All right, well, here's Kenneth Walker talking about how he was at the station, and that's when he was like, if y'all are accusing me of shooting a cop, then, you know, this shouldn't be happening. Listen to this.
And then when I got to the police headquarters or whatever it was, they took the handcuffs off me and everything. I was walking around, I went to the bathroom. So clearly y'all know something's wrong.
You were allowed to move freely.
Yeah,
once
you don't allegedly shoot a police officer and they take the handcuffs off you.
Were you surprised to hear that you were accused of shooting a police
I
officer?
definitely was surprised, but I was more concerned about is he okay and is Brianna okay? At this point, I still didn't even know if she was alive or not.
Kenneth didn't get charged. $12 million civil suit. I mean, damn. How do they still have their jobs? Clearly something went wrong. I mean, like, I understand, even if you don't want to arrest them, how do they keep their jobs? They should.
All right, now Kenneth Walker. Also, as he just said, at this time, he still didn't even know that Brianna was dead. Because think about it, she was alive. So if help had come in a timely fashion, she could have still been alive. He didn't know what happened. And this is how he found out that his girlfriend, who he was in love with, they were already buying sneakers for their future children and everything. This is how he found out that she died.
When were you finally told that Brianna didn't make it?
I never really got told, like, directly. I saw it on the news. And I was in the cell, and it was, like, on the news. And it said one, female dead that confirmed it. As these body cam videos and stuff come out, I see they did nothing. Clearly, we see the SWAT team in there, and she was still in there. They're still, like, casing the apartment with her laying right there on the ground.
Target forward, now crime scene. Let's go ahead and move out. All right, she's done.
Whew.
Now, question: what is the reason Gayle King interviewed Kenneth? What was the reason?
Well, this is his first interview talking about everything that happened.
Oh, okay. I'm saying, but what is there? Like, oh yeah, he's suing, isn't he? Isn't he suing?
Yeah, civil suit.
Yeah, he's suing.
Also, he's trying to just tell the story.
Yeah, he should be able to tell the story because, they were trying to get him not to say anything all the time. He wasn't able to speak.
Definitely, but it helps with the civil suit. I want to make sure that, they just not using black trauma for headlines. That's why I asked that.
Well, I'm sure that he wants people to know what really happened. There's a lot of misinformation out there. The cops have told their side of the story, as we can see with Daniel Cameron, with everything that's been happening. I'm sure he was there. He's the only person that can tell you what really went down. He was there.
Course.
So I think we needed to hear that from him.
And especially that they have a civil suit going because, we live in this era where public perception does change the course of a lot of these court cases. It just does. The court of public opinion helps in a lot of these court cases. So yes, I'm glad he's telling this story. I'm just making sure that they're just not using black trauma for headlines. That's all.
All right. Well, that is your front page news. Now, when we come back, Dr. Claude Anderson will be joining us. So we'll kick him with Claude Anderson when we come back, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Come on.
It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, and we got somebody on the Zoom this morning that I love, I value, and I appreciate. Dr. Claude Anderson. How are you, young man?
I'm still trying to grow up and be like you, drink my milk, say my prayers, and I hope to be like you one day.
Dr. Claude, I'm happy to have you this morning, man, because I'm hearing so much powernomics rhetoric from everybody. Everybody wants to use Dr. Claude's ideas in regards to black economic agendas So why not hear from the man himself this morning? That's my mindset.
Well, I'm delighted to be here and glad to see you all and be with you all again. And I just thought a few seconds ago, it'll be a year pretty soon since the last time I was with you all, last December.
Wow.
And Dr. Claude, before we start, I just want to ask you, how is everything with you with, these difficult times that people are having? How have you been holding up?
I'm fair to admit for a poor black man, but I've had some health problems. It looks like I'm right on the edge of coming out of them. And I just hastening, trying to get back to you all again, because as you indicated, Charlamagne, we were in deep, deep trouble in this country, black folk. And, I made a commitment to myself a few years ago that I was going to stay out of national politics since I left the last administration with President Carter. I said, I'm going to stay out of it and stay neutral. But now looking around, I can't keep that commitment any longer. Things are getting so terrible. We got a pandemic. Nobody's doing anything that makes any sense. But more importantly, is that my people, black people, are just totally in absence of any black leadership. Nobody's speaking up for black folk. And I've told people all my life that when white folk catch a cold, black folk going to catch pneumonia. I don't hear nobody saying, we're going to start talking that we want to eradicate poverty. They should be saying, no, start in a priority with black folk. And I got 38% of all the black folk in America beneath the poverty line. Start with them. You start talking about we want justice. Start with black folk again. Trump is stacking the courts again for the next 40 years, putting people into the federal judgeships, which means that black folk will never have a chance to get justice from that situation. You're marching in the streets talking about we want justice. How are you going to get justice? And then they said, well, how about the Supreme Court? I said, why would a black person want to try to get justice in the United States by going through the Supreme Court? The primary responsibility of the Supreme Court is to maintain racism. They're the guardians of racism in America. That's the most racist organization in the United States. As soon as racism and slavery started, first thing they did was set up the Supreme Court to be the guardian. And that came out of the Marlborough's and Madison decision in 1803. It says now we're going to start getting involved in matters pertaining to black folk and slavery. First 57 judges were white slave owners.
If Joe Biden wins, do you think he should stack the Supreme Court?
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to look out, quid pro quo. He's supposed to take care of the people, to take care of him. That's the primary purpose of politics. Politics never existed. By promise and commitment to raise my hand on the Bible saying that I would protect who? Those individuals who voted for me and put me in that public office. And I never see anybody holding them to that. We got the Congressional Black Caucus, 40-something people. They swore an oath that they would protect black folk. You tell me, where have they been all these years? What are they doing? 51% of all the prisons in the United States are black people that sit up in prison. 51%. And out of all of them that's in prison right now that are black, 96% are black men. They're an endangered species.
How do you feel, Dr. Claude, about the black people like myself who have been telling, politicians our votes are quid pro quo, and this is what we want in exchange for our votes?
That's it. You're right on the money. That's one of the reasons why I love and respect you so much. You're one of the few got that kind of consciousness and commitment to your own people.
Do you think that people shouldn't vote at all if they feel like they're not getting what they're asking for?
In most elections, I would say yes. But in this particular election, this is a different one coming up now. I've been telling people that for the longest, don't vote for anybody, but unless you're going to follow the Powernomics principles, which says, I will support only those who support me. I will support only those businesses that was also willing to commit and help my people and support my people. I'm not giving you my money, buying it out of your store if you're not doing anything for black folk. We're the only people that won't practice quid pro quo. Others will. We spend 96% of every penny we get in our hands. We spend it with people that are not a member of our group or our race. And we got a $1.3 trillion budget that passes through our hand annually. We don't spend it with our black people. We impose poverty on our own people.
Why is this election the most dangerous, Dr. Claude? Like, why should we be out there voting in this election? Because they try to scare us every presidential election. Why this one in particular?
Because right now, there are people right now getting ready to totally revise and tear down the infrastructure in this country and build it in another manner. And that means they're going to ignore the obligation they already have to black folk. I've never seen one instance where a politician, black, white, pink, yellow, green, or polka dot, has ever said, make a commitment that I would, based on quid pro quo, I would do this for black folk. Black folk elect me and put me in office, I would take care of black folk. Never happened. Not even when you had the last black president, Obama. He did absolutely nothing for black folk, which was a total disgrace in my mind.
Have either one of these candidates reached out to you? Any one of their campaigns?
Hell yeah. Jared Kushner.
He's absolutely right. And unfortunately, and I was a Democrat all my life. None of them have ever called me. Ironically, it's been the Republicans have been calling me. They've been calling me saying, Dr. Anderson, we have a lot of respect and appreciation for you and the things you propose for black folk, your commitment. Jared Kushner, he's right. He's been calling for the longest. Keon West been calling me about almost every other week.
Kanye.
If everybody keeps screaming black folks at a critical vote, see, half of that's BS in the first place. That's like an intellectual masturbation contest. We tell black folk how important you are, knowing that black folk only 13% of the population. That means that black folk in this country right now outnumbered 10-1 by whites and other immigrants. They don't really need black folks' vote. White folk right now can go to the poll and vote for anything they want anytime they want. But they want to drag blacks in to put the burden and obligation on black folk to deliver a candidate or to reject a candidate. That's not black folks' responsibility as a permanent, original minority, the oldest minority in the country. That's not their obligation.
Native Black American.
That's right, Native Black Americans. But we accept that responsibility. So yes, we go out there. We have to understand that our vote must count. And but you asked me another point, and I want to hit that. Then I'm going to try to go back to what I'm going to tell you all about today.
I think I asked you about why is this election the most important to vote for. I think you answered it though.
Because I don't think the society as we've always known is going to be in existence when this pandemic ends. They're going to wipe out most of the businesses. They're going to wipe out most of the regulations, the institutions, and everything else. We don't have the resources. We don't have any communities. 6 blacks die for every 1 white from the virus because we don't have the resources. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't even have any communities. We don't have not one community in the entire United States. And then we'd had properly equipped, and we'd had communities all over America, like all other people have. Koreatowns, Chinatowns, Little Italy, Little Greek towns. We don't have anything. All we got are neighborhoods.
All right, we have more with Dr. Claude Anderson. When we come back, don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Dr. Claude Anderson. Yeah.
Dr. Claude, you know what I asked? We were talking about quid pro quo and voting, and you were saying this year in particular, you would tell people, normally you would say to hold your vote and not vote, but this year you're saying something different.
This is it for us. This is a throwdown for us. I want every black person in America, any of them that are registered and qualified to vote, I want you to vote. You vote your heart out. We have to change the social construct in America. The social construct is the United States Constitution that has us blocked and blocked. Nobody has ever addressed the constitutional impact on us and the guardian of racism, which is in the Constitution. We got 2 constitutions in the United States. That's the first constitution that was approved in 1789. That constitution pre-described and proposed exactly how black folk are to be treated and mistreated in this country. We own less than 1/2 of 1% of anything of value. I looked at their plans, both the Democrats and Republicans, and it was a shame.
You looked at Joe Biden's Lift Every Voice plan and Donald Trump's Platinum plan?
Yes, about 40 pages. And guess what? It's nothing but a regurgitation of old rules and regulations pertaining to programs that may have been in existence since 1950. The primary issue is to reverse what was put into the first Constitution and into all these laws that kept black folk poor and impoverished and powerless all these years. See, the first Constitution was an affirmative action plan for whites. It says anybody coming to this country, they must be white, this is a white nation, or they should be able to pass for white. And they can get all these benefits, and we're going to deny black folks as slaves. And what the Constitution did is systematically maldistributed 100% of all this nation's land, minerals, resources, businesses, rights, privileges, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. It has never been reversed. Forget all this stuff about social justice, about police reform. Go back and correct what slavery systematically put in place that had black folk bound like that. The only time they tried to correct was one time when they put out the second Constitution, which was in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment and the Civil Rights Laws were put out specifically to correct it. That's why it was called 10 years of Reconstruction between 1866 in 1876. Reconstruct, which means you've done wrong. That's why they had to issue the 12th Amendment, the 13th and the 14th Amendment, and those civil rights laws. But here's the problem. They were issued strictly and solely for black folk. Then up comes a person out of the bush called the Supreme Court and said, oh, all those things that were put out during Reconstruction, oh, those things are illegal. And we're going to take you back to slavery again. That's why Jim Crow segregation jumped up again and grabbed blacks like this, because the Supreme Court did it. And they said, now all these things that they tried to put in place for you all during that 10-year period, they got to belong to everybody, and anything for everybody is not for anybody. We missed out. And so now we have to go back and focus on that. So what I'm saying is that those things that the Democrats have now in their plan and the Republicans have ain't going to do a darn thing for black folk. They're not tangible. They're not things that black folk can put their hands on, hold on to, and use to correct their position. I talked about my 5-story building, which I'm sure, Sean, you're familiar with that, aren't you?
Powernomics, absolutely.
That's right. That you got to have a wealth base down here. Wealth. Once you get the money on the first floor, you sell it, get profits. Then you use that money to go to the second floor. The second floor is politics. Black folk keep trying to get in politics by jumping to the second floor without an economic base beneath them structure. If you don't have an economic base, you have nothing. That's what keeps white folks in control. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to correct that by saying we're going to go back and reverse what was in the original Constitution. And that's what I want these Democrats and the Republicans to focus on. Take that plan and revise it. Here's some of the things I want you to put in there strictly and solely for black folk. And one, what I want you to do is understand that you got a social construct that has to be revisited. That's the United States Constitution. Now, please do me a big favor. Remember these points. You got a social construct that dictates everything. And when you read the Constitution, talk about we the people, all the citizens, they're talking about white folk. They talk about black folk. They got a code in there. And they see things, words like those who are indebted, those who are in bondage, those who are that special kind of property. They're talking about black folk, that they would be excluded and won't be counted in anything. They talk about white folk. They use these very broad, big terms like we the people, all the people got God-given rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. They're not talking about blacks because that's why they're going to enslave black folk. That's the part of that whole construct. Point 2, this is very important now. I'm going to articulate these. If you want to write down some of these points, these are called Powernomics points. This is my Powernomics plan. I'm giving you the Powernomics plan now that all the others wanted, that the Republicans wanted, and some of the Green parties, the Libertarian Party, they wanted. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm only going to give these points to black folk. 1, I gave you about the social construct. 2, the second thing I want you to do is a demand. No marching and begging. And marching is a waste of time. It signifies weakness. You march all the time. Don't get anything. Second thing I want you to do is demand that there be a permanent office for Native Black affairs established in the White House, which means any issue that goes down, you got a person sitting there where the president is that can start dictating what your needs are and what your resources needs are. That's the second thing. The third thing I want you to be able to demand that right now that I have a Powernomics plan for setting up jobs in the United States for black folk. I want them to build a southern high-speed rail system in the South that would run from Atlanta, Georgia to Dallas, Texas. And I got now all the plans, all this is ready-made, everything's been worked out. It'll run at 150 miles an hour, take you from Atlanta, Georgia to Dallas, Texas. It stops 4 places. It'll stop in Atlanta, it'll stop in Birmingham, Alabama, it'll stop in Shreveport, Louisiana, and then Dallas, Texas. And when you build businesses around those centers, this is for the black folk, because that's called a Southern Black Belt, running from the East Coast to the West Coast.
To explain why, though, why is that necessary?
Because right now we can move people faster, because right now your airlines will have hell, and most of them won't even come back into existence after this pandemic ends. They won't be able to travel. And right now, for blacks in the South to move around, they got to come north, come up maybe mid-north, then try to go across. This will create job opportunities for them, employment opportunities for black professionals in all respect, for businesses, for transportation-related fares, everything you want. That would create hundreds of thousands of businesses and employment opportunities. Now, the fourth thing I want you to do is to also tell them to now, before they start bringing in more immigrants in this country, tell them to require that Congress do an examination for the negative impact that immigration has on black folk. Nobody ever makes that point. The only people that's damaged and injured by immigrants coming in this country is black folk. The immigrants coming in, they join the white status quo. they're not competing against whites. They come and compete against blacks. They go into the black neighborhoods. They take blacks out of the jobs, out of construction jobs, take them out of the hotels and the businesses. Blacks are displaced. And they say, before we can approve another immigration program, we want to determine what will be the negative impact on black folk. And that they never do that. They bring in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of immigrants. And then nobody ever checks on that. And the next point is this, that I want you to establish focusing on the reparations for black folk in the country. And the question they keep asking the whites, where's the money going to? It should be set up in what I would call regional distribution banks, where black folk can borrow that money to start businesses in the major black urban areas in the United States. Every major black city, you should get about 5 or 6 of them, should have a reparations bank there. That's what I want now for reparations funds. And don't be worried about how much money will each black person get. No, I want to put into a special revolving loan fund where blacks can borrow that money and be able to start businesses in those urban areas.
All right, don't move. We got more with Dr. Claude Anderson. When we come back, it's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. We are The Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Dr. Claude Anderson. Charlamagne?
All right, Dr. Claude, let me run down the 5 points you just made real quick. Social construct that dictates everything. That reconstructs everything in the Constitution. Demand that there be a permanent office in the White House for Native Black Affairs. Demand that they build a Southern high-speed rail system that runs from Atlanta to Dallas, stops in Birmingham and Shreveport. Congress to study the negative impact that immigrants have on black people and establish a reparations bill.
You got it down right. And when you call and check on that high-speed rail system, the money's already there. And right now, I got people already committed outside the United States that will put up something like $45 billion to build that high-speed rail system. All we need from the government is for somebody in the federal level, in the office of the president, just to approve the project.
You know, Dr. Claude, I was having that conversation about immigrants actually yesterday, and a lot of people would say immigrants, they're not taking any jobs from black people because the jobs black people wouldn't do anyway. What do you say to that?
They're right, and that's why we have to recondition black folk. Black folks say, I worked for 460 years, nobody paid me and gave me anything. What assurance I got this time I'm gonna get paid and get some money? But see, nobody's ever rewarded and compensated black folk. Black folk have never gotten any rewards. They worked all those years, 360 years for nothing. And the thing about it is the dominant white society is still opposed to it. You know why? They say, well, y'all looking for something free. I said, that's what they should be doing, looking for something free. You know why? Because every immigrant came here, contrary to what they tell you, but they came here for religious freedom. Nobody came here looking for religious freedom. They came here looking to get free benefits. They came here to get all those things that blacks could not get. They wanted free land and free black labor. And that's what they got. That's called the American dream. Come into America and freeload, get whatever you can get. And when they were let free of slavery after having worked for 360 years, white folks said, we'll set you free in 1860, but I tell you what, we're gonna set you free with no clothes, no land, no house, no tools, no weapons, no animals, no nothing. No education, no religion, no institutions. And yet, by the same token, when slavery started up until the end in 1860, guess what? Every immigrant that came to this country was eligible for 650 acres of free land. Then they got another additional 150 acres of free land for every slave they owned. And they had, at that point, when slavery ended, they had over 5 million blacks that were slaves. In conclusion of it, they picked up over 2 billion acres of free land. That's why when you go out west now, you see those big, large ranches, big, large farms, where they got 20,000 acres of farm. You say, well, look at those big farms and all that land whites own. They didn't pay for that land. They got it free. But they wouldn't give black folk 40 acres. And the next thing, and the last two things, there's the Indian Treaty. I'm still in the federal courts right now, in the federal courts here in Washington, D.C., seeking funds for black folk on the fulfillment of the mandated 1866 Indian treaties. Treaties are the highest law of the land. Now, in 1866, Indians participated in enslavement of black folk. The Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, and Creek, and Seminole Indians all were slave owners. And even 2 years after the Civil War was over and blacks had been freed, the Choctaw and Chickasaw was still holding 12,000 to 15,000 blacks still enslaved. So black Indians and black freemen were mandated to receive 40 acres of land. The Indian tribes supposed to give them money. Government gave those Indian tribes money to give to the black folk and set them free. And they set them free, but they didn't give them any money. And then they didn't give them any land. Those free black men and those free Indians have the same rights the Indians supposed to have. They should also build casinos right now and be able to start building casinos on free land, government land. They should be able to go out and say, hey, I want these 20 acres of land here. I'm gonna put up casinos. so Charlamagne can go out there and gamble his money away on the weekend.
Never. What's the final point, Dr. Claude? You said you had 2 more.
I want you to demand that a commission be set up in the Congress that where they hold hearings to go out and find out who was responsible and get reimbursements for what happened to the blacks who were freed during slavery. Where they set up in 1966, those was called Freedmen Banks. They had a Freedmen Bureau. They set up Freedmen Banks across the United States where slaves could deposit their money into those banks, and also black Union soldiers could deposit all their salaries and their income for being in the Army into those banks and those Freedmen Banks in all these major cities. Guess what? That money was stolen by white administrators who were appointed by the federal government to administer that money for those blacks. They stole $57 million out of those banks. Now, right now, I want that money recaptured at present day value and repaid to blacks across the country. And so I'm giving you about 7 things. I'm going to quit there. I want y'all to help me push the Powernomics books and stuff, all this stuff in my books, saying, I want y'all to go out there and start fighting. We want resources. We want money, because it's money and value and wealth that determines your opportunities, not civil rights, not social integration.
You know, Dr. Claude, I agree with you. I'm definitely voting on November 3rd, and I'm also going to hold, Biden and Harris accountable if they get in. I'm going to hold them really accountable, put my foot up their ass, really. But regardless of who wins the presidency, right?
That's right.
How can black people best prepare for the next 4 years, regardless of who wins?
What we're going to do now, we're going to start rebuilding our own communities. And we're going to start practicing quid pro quo with each other. We're going to start developing a broad sense of community where we respect and appreciate each other. And in these communities, we're going to build our own businesses. We're going to practice group economics and group politics, which means we vote for ourselves and buy for ourselves. My thing is this. Quit trying to go out and stand out and march and demonstrate to make people let you into their restaurants. And black folk tell me, well, Dr. Anderson, I'm going to make them take my money. I thought, why you want to make somebody take your money? You just tell them, no, what should we do? Go across the street and build your own damn business. And quit kissing people's butts trying to make them like and love you.
I think that some of these marches are effective, though, just even trying to get justice for people who are killed by police brutality and changing some of those laws and police reform, because I have seen the results from them being there and occupying certain cities.
Right. See, and you're right. See, the way you get control of it is not by begging them to do it. What you do is, I told you, that's Charlamagne on that 5-story building. See, when you got the money and you got an economy at the base, you use your money and the economy on the first floor to control the politicians who are on the second floor. Mm-hmm. You either buy all the politicians, if you can't afford to buy them, you rent them. You use them to make them take care of the third floor. The third floor is the police department and the law and the legal system. You use the money off the first floor and you can make the politicians do what they just need to do to control the third floor. That's the way you control the police. You can't control the police with just by going and looking for kindness in their hearts. Because that goes back to the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says that militia, white militia, police, plantation police were ruling black folk. They used to call them panty rollers. That's why in a black neighborhood you have a predominant number of police officers be white. But you can't go to a white community and find that black policemen are make up the police enforcement in a white community. Build your own community and say, no, you can't come in here. That's why the Chinese would not let white policemen into Chinatowns all the way up until about the 1900s. They said, we don't need them. We got 2 other groups that are handling that. One called the Hatchetmen, the other called the Tongs.
That's right. His name is Dr. Claude Anderson. You can go get Powernomics. You can go get Black Label White Wealth. You can go get Dirty Little Secrets Part 1 and 2. Go buy all Dr. Claude's books, man. He's one of my favorite people to have conversations with, to talk to. And I love you and I value you and I appreciate you, Dr. Claude. I'm glad you exist, my brother.
I say, you know how I feel about you. I mean, I tell anybody the second somebody's asked me about Charlamagne, I said, that's my man. I said, I'm not gay, that's my man's name.
This all makes sense.
I appreciate you, Dr. Claude. Where can they find you if they want to reach you, man?
They can go to the powernomics.com website. We got a library pack to get all 5 of those books for $99. Or they can call the Powernomics Corporation in Washington, D.C. and contact me. And I love you guys, and I appreciate you. And please, if I said something that was offensive to you, I didn't mean to do that, and I apologize for it.
We welcome this type of dialogue. I would love to have it some more, because I agree with some things, disagree with some things, but that is all part of our own experiences.
That's right. I appreciate that. And I don't know the answers to everything, but I just strive for for 50 years to be a forensic historian, and do what nobody else does, and look at racial issues and cut them open, slice them, and dice them, and figure out how you find solutions. And I don't just accept things right off the bat. Now I wouldn't want you to do that either.
Dr. Claude, thank you, my brother. We appreciate you. It's Dr. Claude Anderson. It's The Breakfast Club.
We are The Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say good morning to Natina. Good morning, Natina from Def Jam, executive at Def Jam.
Who's that?
I just said she's an executive at Def Jam.
Natina.
She's more than an executive. She got all kinds of promotions. Natina, during this pandemic, has gotten like 3 promotions.
Yeah, she's an executive, but she's my friend.
Natina.
She calls me every morning to check up on her, make sure I'm doing good. So I just want to say good morning.
I need to meet Natina. She sounds like a nice person.
She wouldn't like you.
Probably wouldn't like her neither. I don't know who she is.
She wouldn't like you. But anyway.
Good morning, whoever you are, Natina.
Shut up, man. Let's get to the
You
rumors.
better not never need nothing from this person you don't know.
I'm pretty sure they need me more than I need them. But if this person was Natina, whoever this is, I just like her as a person.
I don't think she would like you. But let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Ice Cube.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee. Club.
So listen up.
Well, as you know, and we've spoken to Ice Cube about this, he developed this contract with Black America and laid out this plan of what he thinks needs to be part of this whole presidential campaign, what needs to happen for helping Black Americans. Now, shout out to Ice Cube. This is according to Katrina Pearson. She posted this. She posted a tweet. She's a senior advisor for Trump's campaign. Shout out to Ice Cube for his willingness to step up and work with Donald Trump's administration to help develop the Platinum Plan. Leaders gonna lead, haters gonna hate. Thank you for leading. People were going in on Ice Cube yesterday because they think that he's working with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump had to clarify. He posted facts. I put out the contract with Black America.
No,
both parties contacted me. Who did I just say?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Oh, Ice Cube posted facts. I put out the contract with Black America. Both parties contacted me. Dem said we'll address the CWBA after the election. Trump campaign made some adjustments to their plan after talking to us about the CWBA. Here's what he had to say.
So, I think the Democrats, they got every black celebrity on their team, so they just figure, tell kids to shut the up and vote. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna push the program. We also met with the Republicans and they brought us in. We talked to them. They moved their agenda a lot because of what we said. They put $500 billion on the table and, but who knows, who knows what's gonna really happen. I just know one of them gonna win. And I don't know if it can really matter to us. We got to just push whoever is in there because ain't nobody really solved our problems.
I was really confused about this yesterday because I was sitting back watching everybody slander Ice Cube, and I was like, well, when did Ice Cube endorse Donald Trump? When did Ice Cube say he was helping to design the Platinum Plan? That video that we just played, that audio, that was from 4 days ago. And I didn't hear him say any of that. I saw, the Republican Trump supporters manipulating what he actually said, but I didn't hear Cube say he was endorsing Donald Trump and he helped to design the Platinum Plan.
Not at all.
And I have to wonder, at what point do we get smarter? Why are we so quick to attack our own?
I will say it was very misleading the way that Trump spokesperson put that out there.
Yes, exactly. So
I will say that, and that was the intention of her posting that in that way, Katrina Pearson.
But shouldn't the slander go to her? Shouldn't people actually?
Well, I think people were confused because they saw that was a headline. Damn, Ice Cube's working with Donald Trump. I saw people were posting it.
Well,
It was
go
not a
do
good
your
day.
research.
Well, that's what I hate. And especially somebody like Ice Cube who's unapologetically black and represents for black people and rides for black people. So instead of just attacking, shouldn't we
go do your research?
and
He
find
posted
out?
that video 4 days ago. Literally 4 days ago.
That's people, though.
Right, but I will say she definitely put that up purposefully.
Yeah, of course.
So she should have caught the smoke.
Yeah, of course he did.
Not Cube.
All right, now Kanye West
boy.
thought that he was ahead of Trump and Biden in the polls in Kentucky. There was some type of poll that was, I guess, election results, and he posted a screenshot of the percentages. According to these percentages, and I don't know what made him think that this was actually true. It showed that he was in second place with a 19% share of the vote. He was behind Libertarian nominee Joe Jorgensen, who is shown leading the polls with 36% of the vote, and then ahead of also Biden and Trump. So he was so excited. Here he is getting ready.
19%, 40,000 votes. Kentucky. Get the West Wing ready. Let's go.
Get the West Wing ready. Oh, my God.
I'm just,
congratulations to you, because you're Secretary of Defense, so that means you're going to be in the East Wing, you're going to be in the West Wing, man.
See, it's people.
Y'all are one step closer.
By the way, Barack Obama was on CNN yesterday, and he was talking about conservative conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all Black Twitter just as bad. Negroes like you just as bad. Because you throw something like that out there, and people run with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the news station did apologize for the false data that they posted on their site. They said someone discovered a cached web link that was used during June's primary election to post Associated Press election results. The old link was still populating current AP data and showed test results, which is part of the preparation they do in advance of elections. They were not valid. It was simply part of a test.
We don't have to talk about Kanye, though.
We're going to get more into it, though, in the next hour, because he also put out
that's the other thing.
a song.
We don't have to talk.
You don't want to hear about his music?
So you're not Secretary of Defense?
Man, shut up, man. I'm just tired of Negroes.
All right, well,
being
that is your
misinformed.
rumor report.
I'm tired of
Angela Yee.
I'm tired of Negroes being misinformed, and I want Negroes to read, and I want Negroes to
Get
stop
the
it.
West Wing ready. Charlamagne's coming. Secretary of Defense. Let's go.
He's on the East Wing.
And
That's your rumor report.
Yep, and it's y'all the reason that he getting any type of votes, period. Because y'all keep taking
Get
him
the
serious.
South Wing ready for Charlamagne.
and report and report
in these
on them.
streets.
It's all fun and games till November 3rd come. There's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower
Kanye's our
bringing.
new president.
It's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower
All
bringing.
right, guys, that's your rumor report.
All right. Well, Secretary of Defense, who you giving your donkey to?
We need South Carolina Senator Lindsey Ladybug Graham to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him, please.
All right, we'll get into that next. Keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club. Come on.
Yes, donkey today for Thursday, October 15th. Ooh, payday. It's that good check,
Oh,
too.
today's payday.
That's that
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of the month check.
Payday.
Okay. But Thursday, October 15th, have to go to South Carolina Senator Lindsey Ladybug Graham. Now, listen, Lindsey just got donkey today on Monday because he said black people and immigrants are free to go anywhere in South Carolina as long as they're conservative. I'm not making this up. Let's listen.
I care about everybody. If you're a young African American, an immigrant, you can go anywhere in this state. You just need to be conservative, not liberal.
Now, keep in mind, Lindsey may lose his Senate seat this year to South Carolina's Jamie Harrison. Dropping the clues months with Jamie Harrison. A black man from Orangeburg, South Carolina, who has shattered congressional fundraising records by raising $57 million in the third quarter of this year. That's who I'm voting for, by the way. I know what you're thinking. Charlamagne, you're only voting for Jamie Harrison because he's black. Not true! I'm voting for him because his wife is black. And I love his plans to build South Carolina's infrastructure and his plans on ending poverty in South Carolina. But back to his opponent, Lindsey Ladybug Graham. Listen, while y'all were busy slandering Ice Cube yesterday for nothing, literally nothing, our real enemies were showing their true colors once again. What is Lindsey Ladybug Graham's true colors? Well, I believe Crayola would call it good old boy white. See, there's white, and then there's good old boy white, all right? That good old boy white, I don't like that kind of white. Okay, that's that ignorant, stubborn white guy who can say and do virtually anything and still be viewed in a positive manner because good old boy white is America's favorite color. Add a little red, add a little blue, and we call that good old boy prejudice patriotism. And more often than not, regardless how racist, how prejudiced, no matter how much of those white devil horns we see, all that racism will be dismissed as good old boys just kidding around. Oh, trust me, that was his excuse for what he said yesterday. See, y'all were too busy attacking and fake canceling your own in Ice Cube yesterday, attacking him for something he didn't say. Meanwhile, Lindsey Graham was at the Supreme Court hearings, the confirmation hearings for Amy Coney Barrett, actually saying things he should be canceled for. And by canceled, I mean voted out. Would you like to hear what Lindsey had to say? Let's listen.
One of the reasons you can say with confidence that you think Brown versus Board of Education is super precedent is that you're not aware of any effort to go back to the good old days of segregation by a legislative body. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Pardon me? Could you play that part again? Do we have that one part isolated? We don't? Just play it again.
One of the reasons you can say with confidence that you think Brown versus Board of Education is super precedent is that you're not aware of any effort to go back to the good old days of segregation by a legislative body. Is that
the good old days of segregation?
Good old days?
Wow.
The good old days of segregation. The good old days of segregation. Segregation, you mean the practice of requiring separate housing, education, and other services for black people? You mean the systemic separation of people into racial or other ethnic groups? You mean the same racial segregation that could get black people killed for crossing those racial lines? Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but I tend to lean on the side of Chris Rock. He was here a few weeks ago, and he said this about the good old days for black folks.
The beauty of being black is the future's always better. There are no good old days.
There are no good old days when you're black. Now, I'm on record as saying segregation was a great concept that was poorly executed. It shouldn't have been based on race. It should have been based on behavior, okay? Energy. because I don't want to be around certain people either. Somebody like Lindsey Graham, I don't want to be in the same restaurant as him. I don't want to live in the same neighborhood as him. I don't want to be anywhere near a racist good old boy like Lindsey Graham. It's not good for my mental, spiritual, or emotional health, okay? In the case of Lindsey Graham, I am allergic to ladybugs. And do you know what Lindsey said in regards to his racist comments? Well, let's listen.
If anybody was listening to who I am and what I said, you know that it was with deep sarcasm that I suggested that some legislative body would want to yearn for the good old days of segregation.
Deep sarcasm. That's what all good old boys say when they're being racist. I was just horsing around. You know horsing, the same horse I would tie all your limbs to and fire my gun. That's what we call just pulling your leg, darky. Why you got your Timbs all in a bunch? See, first and foremost, Lindsey Graham, no need to clean it up. Okay, you let the inner voice of your subconscious come out. That's fine. Okay, I'm glad y'all devils aren't hiding your horns anymore. I want you to speak your truth, okay? Speak truth to power, because I damn sure gonna speak mine, okay? And as I've been saying, old toxic white male leadership like you, it's a wrap. That's why I'm excited about November 3rd. Okay, yes, the top of the ticket, the president is important, but being from South Carolina, born and raised, and having to deal with good old boys like Lindsey Graham all my life, he got to go. You can't sit in that Senate seat no more. You need to be working in a bait and tackle shop somewhere, okay? A person who thinks segregation was the good old days and who thinks blacks and immigrants can go anywhere in South Carolina just so long as they're conservative is not fit to lead. Okay, and we talk about cancel culture. We really have the opportunity to cancel Lindsey Graham by voting for Jamie Harrison on November 3rd. Now, Jamie was on CNN yesterday, and he responded to Lindsey Graham's good old boy comments. Let's listen.
Yeah, maybe Lindsey was being sarcastic. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it shows just how out of touch this guy really is. Because, you know, you take these comments with the comments that he just said a few days ago, these things just don't make any sense. This is also the same guy who said that he would go and campaign, and he actually did, with a woman who said that jokingly that she wanted to be on the front row of a lynching. You represent a state of 30% of the state are African Americans. 40% of black folks in this country came through the port of Charleston because of slavery. You would think you would have a sensitivity to the type of language that you're going to use. But it just shows that Lindsey Graham represents what I call the old South. We're talking about building a new South.
I don't even know why Jamie is giving him the benefit of what doubt. Okay, don't give him the benefit of the doubt. Don't give him no bail. He knows who and what he is. Okay, and you know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. But you know what else can drive out darkness and hate, especially in regard to politics? Your vote. Okay, we have to put our energy towards the real enemy, all right? And the real enemy is not the ice cubes of the world. That's how they keep us distracted, by having us fighting amongst each other instead of focusing on the real problems. And good old boys like Lindsey Graham are a real problem, okay? And he's got to go. Please let Kathy Griffin give Lindsey Ladybug Graham the biggest hee-haw.
Please give this giant jar of mail the biggest hee-haw.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for that donkey today. Up next,
Yes,
Ask Yee. 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, call Yee right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Now we are the Breakfast Club. It's time for Ask Yee. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Asia.
Hey, Mama. What's your question for Yee?
So my question for you is, my husband and I, we have been married for a year, and I actually just found out he's messing around with prostitutes, and he's been doing it since 2020 has started. And
Wow.
I just really
During coronavirus and all that.
Yes, and I just need to know what I need to do, because I tried to talk to him, and he makes it seem like it's my fault that he does it.
What?
And yeah, and he's a really bad alcoholic, and he only wants to talk about like the serious stuff when he's drunk. So I don't know what to do. It's very stressful.
Asia, what was it like? Y'all ain't been married for a year. So before you guys got married, has he like changed since you got married?
Well, before we got married, he was very flirtatious with other women, but it did stop. And then, like I said, I've literally, it has gotten worse since we got married. Like, the fact that he's spending our money and going to do this, it just doesn't make sense. Like, we're literally sleeping out in the car, So I'm like, we really need to save what money we have. So I don't know.
Asia, this is ridiculous. So let me get this right. So he's cheating on you with prostitutes. He's financially abusive because he's taking your money as well to spend it to pay for these prostitutes. He's an alcoholic, and he gets very, is he aggressive when he's drunk with you?
Sometimes, and it's only when I talk back, like when I give him feedback on what he said, like he'll start to yell, like he doesn't know how to have a normal conversation like how me and you are. But when he's sober, he doesn't want to talk about this stuff. But when he's drunk, he has everything to say.
Listen, I'm all for trying to make a marriage work, but it sounds like you need to get far, far, far away from this man. What is it that's keeping you with him?
Well, this is my very first marriage. Like, we have a 12-year age gap. I'm 27 and he's 39. So, like, he really taught me how to fall in love. Like, he really showed me that love still existed. And then after we've been together for so long, it's just like, it's an ego thing with him.
Asia, I want to say this. It's great that you learned something and he taught you something, but you know how they say reason, season, lifetime? It sounds like he had a reason to be here. His season is over. Now you need to go have your lifetime somewhere else because anything could happen to you. This sounds like, A, he's endangering your health and well-being because he's having sex with prostitutes. B, you guys are literally, you said, living in your car and he's spending money on that. So it sounds like he has some real issues. C, he's an alcoholic. He's not getting help. And D, you just told me that he gets very aggressive. I'm going to assume that when you even speak back or express yourself. So this sounds like an abusive relationship to me in many different ways. Do you have any support anywhere else?
I have family. So I'm going to figure it out.
Have you spoken to your family about it?
Yes, and my family, they don't like him at all. They like him when he's sober, but when he's drunk, they don't like him at all. Like, even his own
Asia, I don't like him either. I don't even know him. Please do me a favor. Get your stuff. Go stay with a family member and, just get some space from this man so you can figure out what it is that you need to do. But it really sounds like you need to start talking to a lawyer now and figuring out how you can, I'm going to use this word again, disentangle yourself from this person because he's really holding you back. And I need you sound like an amazing person. I can tell just by speaking to you over the phone. And I think you need to tap into that for yourself and do better for you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, E.
All right, Asia, we love you.
We love you too.
And you deserve it.
Ask Yee, 800-585-1051. If you need relationship advice or any type of advice, call Yee now. It's the Breakfast Club. We are the Breakfast Club. We're in the middle of Ask Yee. Hello, who's this?
Hey, this is Lucy.
Hey, Ruthie, what's your question for Yee?
My boyfriend has been having erection problems.
Mm-hmm.
And
jump in, Envy. This is when you say me too.
It happened to me too.
He was just like,
Your phone sounds a little crazy, Mama.
Your phone sounds
a little
soft.
crazy.
Is that better?
Yes.
He says it's because of his blood pressure pills. And so
that's true though. High blood pressure does it does cause you to have issues with erections because that affects your blood vessels. That affects the flow of blood that get to your penis for you to be able to have an erection. So go ahead.
Okay, and so I can ask my brother. He's looking to the doctor.
I can't understand what you're saying right now. Is it on speaker or something?
Kind of hard to hear you.
Well, her boyfriend is not getting erect, and I think Charlamagne is best suited for this answer. Yeah, you want to tell him what you do, Charlamagne?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
This is the thing. I asked him if he wanted, let's go to the doctor. And he doesn't want to take anything like that. So he just said he was going to cut his pills in half. Okay, so my cousin, her father passed, and when I was helping her clean out his house, and he had some pills. So I told him about the pills that I had him. He still didn't want to take any. So I kind of crushed one up and gave it to him. He wasn't aware. And,
you slipped him a pill without him knowing? Come on now.
I mean, They were prescribed by a doctor, so it wasn't like something off, you know.
But still, you can't give somebody a pill and not tell them. But go ahead. What
You
happened?
walking around with a boner all day, don't know why? Because
I got a boner.
I did it at dinner. And I didn't say anything, so he noticed what was going on. So, you know, we had a good night. So I said, you know what, I'll wait, and I did it again the following week. We had a good night.
Oh, you horny.
You gonna kill that man. He gonna have a heart attack and keep getting all those sex pills.
I'm out of pills now, and it'll be back to the same problem. So how do I tell him that's why you are doing that? I mean, you're thinking that you were doing that. But
Okay, I do think you need to let him know that you did that. He's going to be angry because you can't just give somebody pills without their knowledge. And that, you know, just to acknowledge that was not, I would never promote anybody doing that. Because what if he would have had an adverse reaction to it? That's something if a doctor has to prescribe it to you. And he can't go to
him. And I made sure I checked his blood pressure and everything. He
had a heart attack.
First of all, you know what's so stupid about this? What if he already knows he has a problem? So what if he's already taking pills and then you doubling up on the dosage? You could literally kill this man.
He's not, because he refused to take them. He won't even go to
That's
the
what he tells you. He probably got to with his meat all day long because he been hard all day long messing around.
So you crushed up the pills and put it in his food?
I did a half of one, yeah.
I know this is so foul.
Only had 3 pills. I only did it 6 times because I cut the pills in half.
All right, so you need to let him know because that's dishonest and you guys are supposed to have open communication. Hopefully he might be mad at first and maybe he will come around, but I think that was definitely not the cool thing to do. He needs to go to his doctor to see how this might work with his medication because they can prescribe something for him and now maybe this will encourage him to do that. But I don't know how would y'all feel if somebody put some medication without telling you in your food?
I'd be pissed the hell off.
I mean, you said somebody though. I mean, that's this is his wife and his wife.
I get that it worked, but you still can't do that. You know, that's really disrupting the trust. And but I think now is the time for y'all to have this conversation for real. He is going to have to go to his doctor. You know, he's already on medication, so he needs to make sure he's taking the right thing. And you got to do that. But and maybe they need to adjust his medication.
Well, they did
as well, but
cut it in half, but it still wasn't working.
Right. And is he overweight? Does he get enough exercise? Does he smoke? Does he have other stresses?
He's in good shape. He does smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Did he put?
Yeah, because sometimes those things can contribute.
Sorry?
Does he put it on you when he does get hard?
Why you want to know?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, that's why I wanted him to take it.
I like the fact that
Right.
she's
No,
not thinking
listen.
about cheating though. I do respect that.
Anyway,
that little laugh.
have
You
that
thinking about
conversation with him.
What'd you say, Charlamagne?
You thinking about cheating?
Cheating?
Cheating.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Now y'all got to be honest with each other and have a real conversation, okay? That's all you can do now. All right? And it feels like, look, all is not lost. He's experimenting with different things. He cut his medication in half. You said he's a smoker. I know that sometimes can affect things. You know, sometimes if somebody's diabetic, there's all kinds of reasons why somebody could have erectile dysfunction. You need to figure out what the root of the problem is, if he's stressed, whatever. And I know you've been trying to work with him and this medication has worked. Sometimes people don't want to take medication if, you know, it's not something that's necessary for them to live. But this is a real conversation y'all need to have now. Since he's been taking it without knowing. But be honest. All right. Sheesh. Damn, if that would have went left, boy, who knows what could have happened.
All right. Ask Ye, 800-585-1051. Now we got rumors on the way?
Yes, let's talk about Willow and Jaden Smith. They said that they were shunned by the black community. We'll tell you the reasons why.
All right, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Kanye.
It's about time. What's going on? Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Man, Kanye put out music and everything yesterday because he thought he was second in the polls in Kentucky. Turns out that it was just a test that they were doing, and he had posted, the whole team is so energized that I had to release theme music. He said, people tried to talk me out of running for president. Never let weak, controlling people kill your spirit. You know, he is on the ballot in 11 states. Now, here is the Na 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 song that he put out.
Next time you text, can it wait? You were talking to a presidential candidate.
I thought he was only doing gospel music.
I thought so too, but that's how you know you got a bunch of D-riders and yes men around you, because they won't even tell Kanye the poll numbers are wrong. They're going to let you go do a whole song knowing that information isn't accurate. Like, come on, man.
They let you know right away the results were not valid. It was simply part of a test. And they did apologize for any confusion, but he was so
and nobody in his team wants to tell him the truth and say, hey, those numbers aren't accurate. This was wrong. So they just all go in the studio and D-ride him while he puts out that subpar goddamn music.
Just last week, he said he was only doing gospel music. I'm confused.
He still produces great music. He just don't rap great anymore. Like, his flow is off. Flow sucks.
All right, now let's talk about Barack Obama. He was on a podcast with two of his former aides, and he was reflecting on his own presidency. He was talking about Joe Biden's candidacy. He was giving some advice to progressives in his own party. And the podcast is called Pod Save America. It's 45 minutes. And this is what he had to say about basic competence.
One thing we know is that just basic competence can end up saving lives. One thing I would say to anybody who's skeptical about what government can do generally is to just take the example of when we were in office. You might not have been happy with everything I did, all my policy choices, but when we had a pandemic or the threat of pandemic, we had competent people in place who would deal with it.
Right. Basic competence can save some lives. Mm-hmm. Now, he also said the government isn't going to fix everything right away. Listen to this.
On every issue that young people in particular care about, the government's not going to solve every problem overnight. But you know what? It can make it better. And better means lives saved. Better means that maybe some people don't get charged for crimes that they shouldn't be charged for, and some people don't get shot. And that's worth fighting for. And the idea that you'd give away your power because you're not getting 100% when you could get 30%, 40%, 50% better, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, some people would say that they don't feel like they're getting any percent, though. That's what they would say, regardless of who's in office.
All right. And he also said that the spread of misinformation has been a huge issue. I don't know if that ever won't be an issue.
That is a problem that is going to outlast Trump. Trump is a symptom of it and an accelerant to it, but he did not create it. And I think one of the biggest challenges all of us have is how do we reestablish some baselines of truth that at least the vast majority of people can agree to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact, but nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. Like, it's never going to change as long as social media is creating the narratives. Mm-hmm. That's just the truth to the matter. Nobody's going to do research. Nobody's going to fact check. They're going to run whatever the narrative is on social media. And once again, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. And goddamn, there's some real good entertaining lies out there. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to see which one
All right, well, you can listen to the
full
full 45-minute Pod Save America out right now. Yes, and tonight we'll be watching Joe Biden, and then Donald Trump is also booked his own town hall that's going to be competing against that.
All right. He turns 50 today. So shout to Genuine, one of the leaders of Light Skin, and we'll get some Genuine on in the mix.
Leaders of Light Skin? Light Skin people have leaders?
Yes.
I had no idea.
I'll be sure. Christopher Williams, Genuine.
Who? Go ahead, Uncle Envy.
Me.
I don't know about you, man. I don't know if you're a leader. Definitely a follower.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Absolutely a swallower. Oh, salute to Nyla. Nyla's in here too. Let me tell you how funny Nyla is. Nyla came in here and Nyla said that people think that me and Envy are really gay. And Nyla, where you was at, Nyla?
A funeral.
Nyla was at a funeral. Do you know how gay we must be for people to stop a funeral? To ask somebody?
Well, I don't think they stopped the funeral. I don't think they was in the middle of the funeral like, hold on, Nyla, you here? Let me ask you, because I don't think it was like
you
that.
You busy grieving? But you worried about whether we are gay? Wow. I'm going to stop playing now.
All right.
I don't want to play no more.
Good. It's the People's Choice Mix. Up next is the Breakfast Slogan Boy.